To complete our exploration of the idea that the Etruscan rock-cut roads leading to burial sites might have played a symbolic role in funerary ceremonies, we will now attempt a reenactment of those rites, incorporating an imaginary passage along such a road as a prelude to the entrance into the eternal future. Musicians and officiants assemble at the great altar. Dancers weave their way up the long flight of steps, while a salpinx player stands by to signal the auspicious moment to begin the sacrifice. On a side platform, a leader with staff in hand appeals to a goddess, and at his foot coils a viper, that deadly serpent associated with the underworld. Oh wait! The salpinx has sounded. The sacrifice can begin. Incense is already burning. Now the fire is lit on the altar and the meat laid on. Preparations for this were made well in advance. Animals, both domestic and wild, were brought for selection. The chosen animals were slaughtered and their blood collected as a sacrifice for the gods. A priestess and 2 male officiants have taken up their positions. Flames rise from the altar. The smoke and bones are a portion for the gods, and the flesh parts will be consumed later by the participants at the funerary banquet. The sacrifice is followed by a ritual dance in honor of the gods and the deceased. Now the funerary party assembles to form the procession to the burial site. Veiled women carrying jars of herbal unguents and a priestess with a serpent entwined around her skirt join in. Other women with symbolic wands of pomegranate come next. The musicians, sounding the lyre and double pipes, take up their places. A child, attracted by the music, looks around as a woman hurries past with a container of incense. Other women raise their hands in prayer. Men join in with gestures of mourning. Close relatives are at the front. The men carry bows and spears in their role as family protectors. The woman holds out a seed cone as a symbol of regeneration in the future life. Now the procession, headed by the funerary wagon, sets out slowly along the narrow route, where the deceased will make the journey to the world beyond. The driver peers out apprehensively at the thought of what lies ahead. To his horror, 2 griffins come striding down the road and start visibly twitching with delight at the feast appearing before them. Karen intervenes immediately and freezes them on the spot, and then, ridding them of their wings and lion bodies, he forges their eagle heads into bronze protomes, there to protect, not harm. Help! The wagon stops abruptly as boulders tumble down on the road. Overhead, the perpetrators are eagerly preparing another volley when Vanf appears and sends the belligerent centaurs down to clean up the mess. Back on course, the way is suddenly blocked by a lion, whose roar reverberates along the rock-cut corridor. This situation requires a specialist. For the master of animals, a single lion is not a problem. On cue, the feline morphs from aggressor to petrified guardian, and in the bargain acquires wings, so that he can now render service swiftly whenever he is called upon. Oh no! How did wolves get in here? 2 of the horrible predators have set upon a gentle ox. Fortunately, in the Etruscan world, oxen can sprout wings, and again mishap is avoided. At this point, a thick mist enfolds the passageway, and with it comes the darkness of night and a full moon. A creature gradually emerges from the haze. Who would have imagined it? An Etruscan werewolf. He's licking his chops as he eyes the funerary wagon. It's time to employ the dark arts. Slowly, the bronze-covered hands of the deceased rise up and make an impenetrable double-horned hex symbol that banishes the werewolf into the mist from whence he came. As the haze clears, the procession arrives at the final doorway. The dreadful guardian of the gate, Cerberus, leaps forward to defend his turf. In the greatest show of force to date, Charon and the Shadow of Death mount the infernal quadriga drawn by 4 lions and fly over directly from Satiano. Immediately upon their arrival, Charon impales the horrible creature with a look so penetrating that he silently backs off. The path now cleared, family members move forward and flank the doorway. They have been close at hand throughout the terrible journey and have brought their loved one to the moment of passage. Friends and relatives who have already reached the final destination are waiting on the other side of the door. As they draw back from the realm where the living cannot enter, the deceased arrives in the arms of a psychopomp. The winged guardian, with a firm, protective grip on his incapacitated charge, steps forward decisively. And at that moment, the setting changes. Light shines through, and benevolent sphinxes open the way. Ahead, family and friends turn to welcome the new arrival to the banquet being held in her honor. Music and dance enliven the celebration. And if you have the opportunity to pass down an Etruscan rock-cut road, look up and you may catch sight of these exuberant people engaged in the eternal future. For them, the dance of life goes on. You may hear the music and even feel the beat. Love is found and love is lost. Animated discussions enliven the day. The simple pleasures are there at every turn. Who wants to go for a ride? Put on your wings and off we go. Even the sphinxes join in the fun. And if you are lucky, you may catch a glimpse of the Lassa of Fate, that perfect embodiment of the Etruscan spirit, energetically going about her business of maintaining harmony and joy in the eternal future.